There's a psychological condition where the person who has it feels amazing, confident, powerful, untouchable, while everyone around them slowly falls apart. It's not psychopathy, it's not sociopathy, it's something far more common, and you probably know at least one person who has it. This is the psychology of narcissism, and it started with a man who drowned staring at his own face. In ancient Greek mythology, there was a man named Narcissus. He was incredibly attractive, and he knew it. When the nymph Echo fell in love with him, he rejected her completely. She wasn't good enough. One day, Narcissus saw his own reflection in a river. He was so captivated by what he saw that he couldn't leave. He stared at himself until he drowned. And where he died, a flower grew, the Narcissus. Now, psychologists took that story and turned it into a diagnosis, because that obsession with self-image, it didn't die with Narcissus. It's everywhere. Here's what most people get wrong about narcissism. They picture someone loud, arrogant, posting selfies all day. That's only half the story. Psychologists have identified two forms of narcissism, and the second one is almost invisible. The first is grandiose narcissism. This is the one you recognize. Extroverted, dominant. They crave attention and power, not to make the world better, but because it feeds them. They become politicians, celebrities, leaders, not for the mission, but for the spotlight. Research shows this often develops in children whose parents told them they were more special than everyone else. The kid on the pedestal grows into the adult who expects a throne. The second is vulnerable narcissism, and this one is dangerous because you won't see it coming. These people are quiet, reserved, but underneath, a massive sense of entitlement. They feel constantly disrespected, overlooked, threatened. While the grandiose narcissist demands your attention, the vulnerable narcissist punishes you for not giving it. This one often traces back to cold, distant, or controlling parents. But here's where both types meet on the dark side. Both types of narcissists share the same shadow: selfishness disguised as confidence. Narcissistic leaders make reckless, unethical decisions. Narcissistic partners lie, cheat, and manipulate. And the moment you question their self-image, they don't reflect, they attack. Someone once described narcissism as a disease where the sick person feels perfectly fine, but everyone around them suffers. And at the extreme end, it becomes a clinical disorder, narcissistic personality disorder, affecting 1 to 2% of the population, more often men. Every narcissistic person share
A grandiose self-image, zero empathy, a constant need for admiration, and a sense of entitlement so deep it takes over their entire life. They'll use their own family as a source of attention. They'll reject any feedback that threatens how they see themselves. So, where does narcissism come from? Twin studies confirm there's a genetic component, but environment seals the deal. Parents who either worship their children or neglect them. And culture plays a role too. In individualistic societies, narcissism has been rising since the 1970s. Social media didn't create narcissists, it just gave them a megaphone. But here's what I want to leave you with, because most videos on narcissism stop at the problem. Narcissists can change. Through psychotherapy, through learning compassion, through honest confrontation with their own behavior. It's hard, especially for those with the full disorder, because accepting a flaw means shattering the image they've built their identity around. But it's possible. And understanding that, that's the difference between condemning someone and actually helping them. If this made you see narcissism differently, or made you think of someone specific, share this video with someone who needs it, and subscribe to Reinvent Yourself, because we don't do fluff here. We decode the psychology behind why people do what they do.
And about that, check this video right here. It decodes another common issue of this modern society.